All right, welcome back to the Diversified Diecast. We should be on part 3 of miniseries VW. I do apologize for those of you who did watch the entire or got to the end of part 2 last night. I was working on tapping the camera and moving cars, and I actually closed the camera app and stopped the video instead of pausing it. So, or end the video, if you will. So we have the remainder of these loose ones over here, and I told you I was going to pull these other 5 out of the cubes and put them on a turntable as well. Not sure how long it'll take, but after we get these done tonight, um, I still want to go through all the Jada, Slugbug, and the majorettes that I have, for the final part, if you will. I may have to break that up into like part 4 and part 5, only because I have about 25 or 30 of each, and I feel like it'll just drag out. So I can make one just for buses slash vans and make one just for the bugs. That way, if you're a Beetle guy or gal and you don't want to look at the buses, you don't have to watch that one, or vice versa. Um, so, like I said, we've got, I don't know, probably 20 here plus these 5 here. Do the same thing we did last night. Put them all up on the turntable. Brief description of what I have on the bags, and show you all the M2s. I'll cut the back of the boxes open, get into them, and I'll put them back up here on the shelf for the rest of them. So, give us just a minute. We'll get set up and show you all the rest, and then we'll have to look for the completion of this series for part 4 and 5. Stay tuned. All right, so those of you who saw my video on my garages way early on, not like it was a couple years ago, but earlier when I started filming, y'all probably saw this thing. It's a Real Riders VW custom Beetle. It was bought loose from a guy that I bought cars from up in Illinois. Um, it it fits the bill for me. And the rubber tires, Real Riders just make it a good bonus. Um, this is literally period correct for what I would have seen, in the times that I was, looking at these things and flipping through a magazine. So again, I'm not sure what year it's from. If I had to guess, it's probably 2010, 2015, maybe a little sooner, but really before I started doing the premiums. All right, another 4x4 Beetle. This is the one that came out of the 5-pack that I opened up on one of the previous videos. The part control, everything's kind of cool. It isn't my favorite casting, by Matchbox or in a Beetle in general, but it is something different. The Stinger pipe is really kind of why I collect them. When I find them, I grab them. All right, Matchbox. I don't have anything on the bag. This is a 76 Golf GTI Mark 1. This thing really kind of takes me back a little bit. It's a different model variant than what a family member of mine had. It was a early 80s Rabbit, but every time I see one like this, I think of that car. His was dark gray. It wasn't this color green, and obviously it wasn't a GTI. But this car will take some abuse. This is right when they first started doing the GTI, from what I remembered and gathered in research. And it's very capable for its size, and especially for the time period. So, if you don't know much about them, do a little research on them. It's pretty interesting. I like this casting because Matchbox did some justice with having the casted mirrors. It's a nice feature. Detailed tampos on the front, nothing on the back, and the paint's actually pretty nice for a mainline. Okay, Greenlight 73 thing, the Type 181 is also what it's known as. Again, I can't say this enough. If you like the VWs and you don't mind buying a premium diecast, Greenlight, Greenlight, Greenlight. The level of detail they do and the effort they put into these things for the Volkswagen castings being as small as they are, I can't say it enough. It just, until you have a few models and you check it out for yourself, you're never really going to know or trust me. But and all the things from Greenlight have a rear opening motor cover. which is pretty cool too. They don't have a removable top on the convertibles like that Hot Wheels mainline I showed you, but still really nice and really desirable casting for me. This is another color variant of that metallic green one I showed y'all in the previous video. I don't have information on the bag for it. I'm not sure if it's what year or model it's from. It's a Hot Wheels mainline. I'm sure it may have some kind of Volkswagen sub series, but I don't know, and I don't have it written on the bag, like I said. So not quite as nice as the green one, but still a nice, cool flavor. With the wood paneling and the bright metallic paint. All right, 69 VW Squareback. These cars are really cool. They look good no matter what's done to them. This one was bought from the guy in Illinois that I buy a lot of loose cars from. If I had to guess, this thing is probably from one of those VW sub series, mainlines, if you will. Not quite like a silver series, but an improved mainline variant. Only because it has that brilliant paint and the really particular graphic package on the side. This thing really catches your eye, under the right light. Now in the sun, it's even better. I've only have a handful of the squarebacks. I showed y'all one last night that was a art car. I think I may have another one stashed somewhere, or it should be out here in front of me. But to my knowledge, it's the only two that I have. But again, a really nice example. Purple just it suits the VW in any casting. Okay, Matchbox is the last car I believe out of that 5-pack that I'm showing y'all. The paint and the detailing on this thing is really great, but everything else just really does nothing. The casted mirrors are a nice touch. The wheels are okay because it's kind of that wheel choice can go on a lot of different models from all different manufacturers. I do like how they have the canvas rag top. Yeah, being white's kind of cool because it's different in the white interior, but um, I know it was easier to make the base of this thing just all white because the bumpers will be white, but it'd really be nice if this thing had a black undercarriage or like a dark gray. That may get changed later on. This thing may get a wheel swap and a little custom treatment on the bottom because it is a really nice car for a mainline or a 5-pack car. But not sure what year this one is. I didn't look. It says 1970. So there you have it. All right, again, this is the other Real Riders fastback that I have. It was in a display. It's got the Feels Air Cooled Performance, which is a really nice livery because it's very fitting, right, for VW or Porsche or what have you. Not much to say about it. This one tilts up just like the other two, or you can take it off, snap the body lid off the cage chassis, if you will. Wish I had a few more of these things because they're really cool. But again, I just don't see them, especially loose. Okay, this one was a trade from that girl that I traded with up in the Northwest. This is actually a Greenlight 2016 Black Bandit, Series 14 of that year, 78 VW Type 2 bus van. I take that back. This was not from her. This was from a guy I trade with here in West Houston. I meet up with him, every other week or so. We make trade deals together. So he showed me this one. I said, man, I like the Black Bandit stuff, and I've only got a couple of VW, so I'd love to have that. Again, the detail of anything Greenlight VW. Gotta love it, man. The paint's not perfect on this one, especially for being as old it is, but it's still overall really nice. All right, the last coffer racer that I have, definitely the nicest paint out of all three versus the Momo or the Moon Eyes. This is a trade from the guy I trade and get stuff from in Virginia. It was brand new on a car. It was a blister bust for me. There's just something about the way this casting looks. I think it's so different than what you see, a lot of Volkswagens in general. And in the die-cast part, it's just, they could make this thing next to perfect. They just tried a little harder. Like these cars and this casting really, in my opinion, should be at a minimum like a silver series, with full tempo detailing. Or I really wish they would just turn this thing into a premium, at some point. But I don't have any information on it. I'm not sure what year it's from. I didn't keep the card and didn't write on my bag. But again, it's a copper racer, Hot Wheels. This one here is like that white one that I have. It's in the beginning of the other video. This, if I'm not mistaken, it may have been a garage sale or a yard sale find. I don't remember getting this thing in a trade. I could have, because I've gotten big lots of loose cars. But I'm pretty sure with the play wear on this thing and something about the way this thing's coming back to me, I think I'm pretty sure it was a yard sale or garage sale buy. Double die cast, the VW Beetle, I think is what they call it, Hot Wheels. This one's probably from early mid 90s, not quite as late as 97 to 2000. But if I had to guess, it's from somewhere in there. All right, M2 Machines, 56 Beetle. Year release is 2023. Model is R83, and this is release 87. Teal and white. It's got the chrome luggage rack on top. One of the better examples from them. Their Beetles really aren't that great. Definitely, like I said, the NHRA livery that I showed in the previous video is probably the nicest overall quality M2 Bug that I have. This one's probably a close second. It's definitely a little better than that purple one, the purple and white one that I showed in the previous video, only because its features and treatment with the chrome and this metallic blue. But they do a pretty nice job. I really can't complain on what their Beetles look like. They're not green lights, but they have their own flair and they're still nice. All right, I know we opened this one up on the channel a few weeks ago. This is a Greenlight 2024 release. That's all I got on here. 68 Type 2 bus. This is one I believe I got out in Kerrville on the way out west. Chevron 145th anniversary. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful example of a Greenlight bus, VW van. I'm not saying it's flawless, but everything that's detailed on this thing it's next to perfect. Tires and wheels included. All right, another 62 VW Type 2 pickup. Got some kind of German livery on the side. Don't know what year it's from or what number it is or what release. But by Hot Wheels, pretty similar to the other one. This is probably honestly just a different color variant. Is that gray and blue one that was on the previous video. All right, another custom by that buddy of mine, Brian, who does them here in town. The Ho 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 Shorty VW bus that we saw in the previous video is really nice, but I get to looking at this thing, and this is the one that goes on my display. And once I get it out, he did a really nice job on this one with the hand paint of the tail lights and the headlights, and the striping, the purple paint with that tan interior and these wheels. It's just this thing would get a lot of compliments if they could actually see it, in my opinion. And it's done well and it's done right. He took some time whenever he actually did it, and it's solid. It rolls good. It has good stance. I like the low pro wheels. And there's only so big of a wheel you can tuck under this casting, but this is my other custom. Like I said, besides the Christmas one. All right, so the casting on this one says 1998. So apparently they didn't make this variant of the VW Beetle in this style until 98. If I had to guess, this one's probably from 98, 9, 2000. just by the type of wheels and the color of the paint scheme. Not perfect, but overall, it's probably a 7 out of 10 as far as condition. Rolls really good. Still looks really good from a foot away. Just giving a little scrutiny because it's under the HD microscope. All right, Greenlight 2024 release. This is from the vintage ad series, ad cars line. 68 VW Type 2 bus. And this one apparently I got in a Hobby Lobby down near Corpus. And I don't know if I actually opened this one up on the channel or not. I don't recall if I did. But what really kind of drew me to this one, besides the car, are those vintage ad cars by Greenlight, which they're pretty neat too, because stuff like that was a little before my time, but they still did that when I was a kid. All the magazines I used to read. But the color combo on this thing is so different, but it works. It's like, here I am, I'm VW, and I have all the primary colors. Red, blue and yellow, and it fits. It works. It's not too flashy. The blue is probably the best color for the base coat. That orange red roof is really neat, and throwing bumpers, yellow front and rear, give us some good contrast. All right, another Type 2 pickup. This one is 21 or 22. This is vehicle number 1 out of that VW set that we've opened up here on the channel. And this was one of the gifts in the mystery box from a friend of mine down in Rio Grande City. Not quite as nice as the other ones I have as far as detailing, but the orange and white's really cool. Black on the rear for the detailing around the engine, but black interior. At least they painted the the front emblem, white, instead of just leaving the same color as yellow as the casting. This is also from that 21 or 22 year VW sub-series, car 7 out of 8. This is a 49 VW Beetle pickup. The patina is not, or the implicated patina is not perfect, but it's a cool variation, and it's somewhat accurate. They didn't do anything on the rear, but overall it looks pretty good for, like I said, essentially a mainline. This is also a gift from Rio Grande City Mystery Box. Okay, last loose car that's in the mix here. This is a Greenlight. Let's see, Club VW, obviously, Series 20. Didn't get the year. I think it's a 2023. Hobby Lobby find. And this is like some kind of South American, like, police livery. Bomberos. It's hard to tell about the plate on there, but if I remember right, looking under them, literally like a jeweler's loop. This thing is basically based for first responder or police down in South America somewhere. And this is a very, very big contender with that Greenlight, or the Club VW Greenlight Falcon Beetle that I showed y'all last night. This one here. If I must judge them off of fit, finish, and paint and quality, not preference, this is probably going to take it, because it's literally probably one of the best examples of Greenlight VW I have. There's a couple others, obviously. That Falcon's right there with it, but the paint on this thing it's next to perfect. No smudges in the glass, no scratches, no out around tires. I mean, it's nice and snug where the body meets the casting. It's just again, I can't say enough, man. It's a really nice example by Greenlight. And once you get a couple of Greenlight VW castings, whether they're Beetles, vans, trucks, whatever, you'll really appreciate their love for Volkswagen, because it shows. All right, since we got to crack these open, I wanted y'all to get a good look at the box art. This is one of the 3 2020 or 2021 vehicles that my wife found after they remodeled our Walmart. I guess someone had kicked them under the shelves It hit them at some point when they moved shelving and everything around the store. It is a Walmart exclusive. 7,000 pieces overall, no chase from what I remember. We'll look at all the specifics on there, but she knows like anything VW. She likes all the VW stuff too, and like I said, the Dodge A100 and the Ford Econoline vans. But this is one that she had picked up. I think it's a 21. Let's get it out of the package and check it out. All right, so the Hostess livery, Walmart exclusive, 2020 uh, release 69, and looks like the model number is a Walmart S15, if I'm reading that right. Twinkies livery. The bumper's really cool, and this one's a little different than the other ones I have. Or you know what? I don't think I have a VW. I don't have a VW van bus from M2 out of the box that I know of. I'll take that back. I have that Mr. Piven we looked at last night, but I think that's the only one. Anyway, nonetheless, very fitting colors for Volkswagen, especially on a van bus. The Twinkies livery is kind of cool. It's got the Twinkie lasso. But there you have it. Found in store 5 years after it was released. It's always cool. It's almost like finding treasure. All right, 1958 microbus. This one I got from Jesse, who's down the road from me. I buy a lot of stuff from him locally all the time. This is a 23 or a 24. We'll look at it and pull the base out, but this thing the patina, man, it just kind of lures you in, because if you let one sit and rot for 25, 30 years, and it looks like everything it should be, with the exception of having about 2,500 bullet holes in it. So let's get this thing out of the box, check it out. I bet it's really neat under the light. All right, so that's a mouthful. 58 microbus, 15 window. US variant. This is a 2024 release. Have to wait till it comes back around. Model R85, release 22. On these M2s, the rear motor cover does lift up. And what's neat about this model is it has that ventilation scoop. Like a lot of the Bugs have the I can't remember what they call them, not a boom tube, but it's basically like a big boom box that they hang off the side window, and it pushes fresh air in from driving down the road. That, if I'm correct, that's the same thing you have for the bus and vans, and it ventilates all throughout the inside through the roof. Yeah, it's a shame that it's got kind of a shinier finish than I thought, because the paint is just patina's so accurate. But still, a really nice model. It looks really good in the box, with the card art on it, and eventually it'll come out and get displayed. But let's see what y'all think about this one in the comments. I'm trying to find out if anyone watches this far in. Drop a comment if you did. All right, well, I got this one out of the package, and it's actually got a cracked case. So this one will come off the base after night, and I may keep the box, I may not. I may just replace the Lexan lid with another one that I have from somewhere else. There's actually one on my desk right here, but the only reason I didn't take this one out of the package is because I was scared that the tow hook was going to be damaged. This is a 60 VW, what do they call this thing? Single cab truck, release 96, R96, or model variant R96. I think it is a 2024 release, release 119. This was a Hobby Lobby find. You see them mostly there. I don't think Walmart may carry it, but I see these all the time at Walmart. When I first started seeing it, I wanted to get it. Looks like the windshield's kind of pushed up and in a little bit. Maybe a slight error. Kind of hard to tell, but really cool truck. I like the livery on it, and the color scheme, and it being a little jam-packed wrecker makes it kind of cool too. All right, let's skip a few steps on the previous ones, y'all. This is a 250 pieces with a 750 chase worldwide. I'm starting to think this is 9,000 pieces combined. 59 VW double cab, crew cab, whatever you want to call them. And I think this one's a 24. This one was at Hobby Lobby when I found it. It's a model R93. Yeah, release 24 of 2024. Kind of plain Jane. The tires and wheels are really shisty on it, if I must be honest. But I like the model in general, because it has the fold down bed sides. They don't actually fold down, but that's what, this model does, in its real life. Okay, so let's talk about the Gulf Sleeve series. They're not everywhere. 6,000 pieces for this one, and this one has a 750 piece chase and a 250 piece super chase. I found all 4 that I have at the Walmart Brownsville early in the morning, like right as they opened. And it probably just got set out that morning, and I'm assuming someone beat me to it right as I walked in the store as it opened, or the employees got it. And of course, the OBS and the square body were gone. But I don't think that I've seen them on a shelf, period, anywhere else. So I was able to get the VW, the Mustang, the Datsun, and can't remember what the Challenger. Really cool. Walmart exclusives, obviously. Hence the WMT S19. That's the model. And these should be 25, 2025. Yeah, release 24. So 1960 VW delivery van, shorty. The Super Chase square body is insanely expensive. And the square bodies alone in the OBS Chevys, they run 20 to 30 bucks in the standard variants, and their guys were asking 60 to 80 bucks for the chases, when they were first snagging these things 6 months ago. But I got 4 out of 6. Obviously, I'd love to have the 2 pickups to complete the set. The Gulf livery is it's really iconic in a lot of ways, and I thought it was cool that they were able to keep this as a Walmart exclusive, keep the production numbers down low, and like I said, they're really sought after because I have not seen any of them since I bought these 4 all together, and I feel like I have the sleeve for all 6. Obviously I don't have the 2 trucks that go with it, but it's packed away somewhere. So if I find the 2 trucks and they're in as good a shape as these are, that'd be a nice set to have on the shelf. Well, that's all we have for tonight. Got this in under 30 minutes. It was a little shorter than I thought it'd be. I'll get all these things packed up and put back away and tidied up probably tonight and maybe the rest of it tomorrow. And then tomorrow's going to be Friday night green light. So we're going to be doing the Kings of Crunch new series unboxing. And then I'll probably do the remainder of this series on the majorettes and the Jadas Saturday or Sunday over the weekend. So we can wrap this series up. And I got to figure out what we're going to do next after we do Friday night green light and get the VW stuff done. So thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support and all the likes and comments and followings. Subscribers goes up, a couple people a day. Getting a lot of more views, getting some nice, good traction. Just good, steady, solid progress. So thank you again for everybody who's involved, watching. And even if it's 5 minutes out of, 50 minutes, I'll still take it. There's enough interest to at least click on the video and take some time to check out the content. So y'all have a good night. We'll get with y'all tomorrow. Be ready for Friday night green light.